Hello, Aries. How are you? I am here to do the astrology part of February 2025. Of course, I am 10 days late. So we'll look at very briefly what happened up until today, and then I'll take you through the rest of the month. So the month started off with a Venus conjunct Neptune in Pisces, conjunct the North Node. Now, this was a very sort of romantic day, but also like illusions, like something might be love, like thinking something might be love, but then also kind of seeing the truth of it because of the North Node there. Or you could have met somebody that was important, or there could have been some kind of creative idea that was born here. Anyway, this was an interesting day that would feed the energy of the rest of the week. Then on February 3rd, we had Mercury in Aquarius trine Jupiter in Gemini. It's kind of like an aha moment right before Jupiter goes direct. So actually learning, getting some great insight into the whole point of Jupiter's retrograde in Gemini. I am hoping that now that Jupiter is direct, um, things will start working again. It's been like a Mercury retrograde on steroids. On the 4th, Venus moves into Aries or moved into Aries. She it's not her favorite, right? She's a Taurus girl, she's a Libra girl. So being in Aries is like already uncomfortable for her. She's in and out of love pretty quick. Uh, but she's also realistic. Um, sh- whereas like in Pisces, she may have been losing herself in a fantasy. The second it moved into Aries, she was like, oh. And with the Jupiter going direct in Gemini, she was like, the two of them together, like, oh, that wasn't at all what I thought it was. So, like I said, I had said this in the reading last week that there's a lot of sort of clarity on hand right now. Moon moved into Gemini on the 6th. Venus in Aries sextiled Pluto in Aquarius on Friday. This could have been a good meeting, an introduction, an idea, some kind of connection here. Moon moved into Cancer yesterday, Saturday. So if you felt like staying home all day in bed, that is not a surprise. And then today, here we are with the Sun conjunct Mercury in Aquarius. This is another like clever idea. Um, getting getting clear on like a wish list. After having kind of cleared out the fantasies of the past, now you have very clear on what it is that you actually want. And Mars is in Cancer, trining Saturn in Pisces. So those feelings of I'm ready for, like being ready for something emotional, being ready for an emotional experience. Now, the good news is we are 2 weeks away to the date from when Mars will go direct in Cancer, and then we won't have to deal with Mars retrograde for another 2 years. And thank heaven, not again in Cancer. So tomorrow, February 10th, Mercury in Aquarius squares Uranus in Taurus. This can be a face-off. You may have someone, there are two fixed signs who are asked to make a choice and they don't want to because neither one of them wants to give up anything. So if you find that there is some tension at work or some tension at home, this is why. Then you also have the moon moving into Leo, which is another fixed sign. So really nobody wants to budge there. So just let it go to another day. On the 12th, we have a Leo full moon, and the moon moves into Virgo after the Leo full moon. And I'll be taking a look at that over the week. Mercury moves into Pisces on the 14th. Now, I have a Mercury in Pisces. I always read that it's like a terrible placement, which I don't understand because I like know things without knowing how I know them. It's actually quite frustrating because I know things before other people do, and then I have to wait for everybody to kind of like catch up. It's and nobody believes me. They think I'm crazy until I have to come back and be like, "Hey, you remember when I said?" But basically, what that means is that uh, thinking is going to be intuitive. You're going to have to kind of trust your instincts. You may have a period of what's it called? Claircognizance. Like all of a sudden, you don't know how you know things, but you just do. Uh, so trust those. On the 15th, the moon moves into Libra. That's very comfortable. It's actually a relatively quiet week. Then on the 17th, the moon moves into Scorpio, intensity. Sun moves into Pisces. Now remember, this is our 12th house, our 12th solar house. It can be incredibly draining. Pisces sign has, goes into two directions. It can either be elation or desperation. So you may find yourself being very exhausted because we have Mars in Cancer, and then when the sun moves into Pisces, that might take us out. You may also just have sudden flashes of what am I even doing here? Uh, like just suddenly being very conscious of the weight of existence. If that happens, just remember sun is in Pisces and be like, oh, okay, that's why that's where this strange despair comes from. It's like what Holly Golightly said in Breakfast at Tiffany's. It's not the blues, it's the mean reds. So the Pisces energy can bring those mean reds. If you're experiencing them, just like remember to be like, oh, okay, right, that's this transit. It will pass. Then we have Mercury in Scorpio. No, why did I have Mercury in Scorpio? It's not in Scorpio. That must have been the moon. Sorry, I'm gonna have to double check that. I don't know where I got that from. Because Mercury is in Pisces and it's definitely not ready to conjunct. So ignore that for the time being. I will double check that. Moon is in Capricorn on the 22nd. It's a relatively quiet week. We'll see. Then on the 23rd, Mercury in Pisces trine Mars in Cancer. I might have had that left over from 2024, that Mercury in Scorpio there. And then Mars goes direct in Cancer, finally. So could be a little bit of an emotional moment here with the Sun in Pisces, Mercury in Pisces, trining Mars in Cancer. But there should be some sort of an emotional alignment here. Getting your feelings in a row, or at least like being prepared to face a next emotional chapter, right? Emotionally, you are ready to move forward, you're ready to move on. And that can be like, I've stopped being afraid to love, or that's it, I am ready to get engaged, or that's it, I need to get out of this marriage kind of situation. Whatever the emotional evolution, the next evolution is, whatever the next step emotionally is, you are now ready to take it. On the 25th, Mercury conjunct Saturn in Pisces. That's also getting very strong alignment on what's in your heart, right? Like this is all emotional growth. Whereas like the first and the second week is about sort of aha information, like getting consciously aware of it. By the end of the month, you're actually emotionally prepared to do what needs to be done. And then we end the month with a new moon in Pisces in our 12th house of endings, new beginnings, as we get ready for Aries season on its way up. Now remember, as I said, this Venus in Aries is in its shadow. She's going to go retrograde, I believe, like at the beginning of March. I know she's definitely retrograde for some of our birthdays. So whatever the love money story is that's happening in your life right now, it's not over. So it'll have a second and a third pass. So just kind of wait to see how things play out. That said, the emotional aspect of it and how you want to move forward emotionally becomes very clear, right? Whether it's this opportunity or not remains to be seen. Okay, I'm going to go do the cards now. Hope this was helpful, and I will talk to you next time.